What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alonso, and today we're going to be learning shoulder stands. We find ourselves in my living room today, so I apologize if there's a bit of an echo or if the lighting isn't as good as if we were outside on a nice, bright, sunny day. Now, you'll notice I've got myself here a nice, loose rodeo line inside my living room, and I personally think that learning shoulder stands is much easier if you've got a rodeo line like this yourself. Granted, this rodeo line is quite high and quite long. I recommend something much shorter and much lower to start, but this is what I have to work with, so this is what I will be demonstrating with today. And with that being said, you don't need a rodeo line at all. You can do this on a long line, you can do this on a high line, you can practice this anywhere, so long as you don't hit your head on the ground when you go into the shoulder stand. Once you pick your line, again, reiterate this one more time, this trick is easiest learned on rodeo lines, and once you've got it on rodeo lines, then you should transition it to the more tension lines, because that is where it will be more difficult to do. So one of the questions I get a lot about this trick, and it's a very good question in my opinion, is where does the slack line actually rest on your shoulder when you're doing this trick? So we've got our shoulder, and we've got our traps on our shoulder. They're those little triangle muscles that form that bridge between your shoulder blade and your neck. Now, we don't want to rest the line on there, because if we have all our weight on one of our traps like that, that's going to hurt. So what we actually do, we actually roll slightly further on the line, and we rest it high on our upper back, right next to the neck, but high on the upper back. So this way you can sit there and still be relatively comfortable because you've got the line resting on a bigger muscle. That's the line placement. You can play around with that and see what feels better, but typically I find that this trick is actually a lot more comfortable if you round your back a little bit, kind of like a turtle, like this. So that way you can roll further and put it on your upper back, like right here, rather than on your shoulder right here. So upper back, good. Shoulder, bad. And I know that's a little counterintuitive because this trick is in fact called the shoulder stand and not the upper back stand, but that's just the way it is. I don't make the rules. Really quick, before we continue with this video, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, if these videos are helpful to you, it would mean the world to me if you hit all those buttons down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss whenever I post. And hit that little blue thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm in order to push this video out to more people who might be looking to slackline. Whew, that was a mouthful. Anyway, let's get back to the video and onto the shoulder stands. So now that the line placement's out of the way, let's go over the mechanics of how to actually perform this trick and how to hold it successfully. Obviously, you're going to be upside down on this trick, and while it does help to have a little bit of experience being upside down in the normal world, like being able to do a handstand or a forearm stand or something of that nature, you know, just to get you used to what that feels like, you actually don't need that experience at all. You can do this without having any prior handstand experience or anything like that. So, what we're going to do, we're going to sit on the line just like we normally would, and we want to sit close to an anchor. We don't want to try this in the middle of the line. We want to have an advantage of being able to go down the line because that'll be a little bit easier to get into. It's just like when you're learning something like a sit start, you don't want to be doing this uphill, you want to be doing this downhill to start, and that's why a rodeo line is a very good place to begin this trick. It's nice to have some padding on the ground like I have here. I've just got a big crash pad. You can put a bunch of pillows or mattresses or really anything that will help you flop and commit to the trick, because if you are afraid of falling off this, you're just not going to progress as easily as someone who can fully commit to it. So, hand placement. We're sitting on the line. We've got a downhill, as you can see here. If I put pressure on this rodeo line, it goes downhill. We want to do a grip like this with the thumbs facing the opposite way. So my right thumb points left, my left thumb points right, and we're just going to grab the line with both hands like this, right in front of our crotch here. Now what we're going to do, and this is the committing part, because if you were doing something like a kamikaze or just a standard shoulder roll on a highline, the easiest way to do it isn't to get into it super statically with a foot like how you see some people do it. It's actually much easier to just kind of jump into it. So we're gonna jump into it, and then what's gonna happen, we're gonna start to roll. Now, if you let your momentum carry you, you will do a front roll over this line, and you'll probably end up flopping off the side because you get scared or you don't fully commit to it. That's okay, that's a really good place to start. I'll show you what a flop looks like just so you know what you're kind of looking for. So we're just gonna commit, get our hips over our shoulders and commit to going over and then landing on this crash pad. And that'll look something like this. I committed to that all the way through and I fell onto the crash pad. That's what you want. That's a great start. Now you've gotten the weight on your shoulder. Remember, if it hurts, try to round your back a little bit and get it more on your upper back rather than on the shoulder itself. Now that we're able to commit to the line and get some weight on our shoulder and feel what it's like to be upside down, we're ready to stick this trick. Two things you need to focus on, and these are the only two things I actively focus on when I'm doing a shoulder stand. So the thing that keeps you upside down are actually your hands. Your core can work a little bit, but your hands play a really big part. If I'm falling over like this, because my hands are now behind me, I can simply pull on the line with my hands to bring my hips back a little bit. Likewise, if I'm falling back onto my stomach, I can push with my hands and that'll push me back forward. Now, don't disregard the rest of your muscles. You do have your core and your legs that also do some work as well. But your arms play a really big part in balancing you out while in a shoulder stand. Number two is your legs. How do your legs play an important part in this? Well, your legs are actually the ones that balance you side to side. When you start a shoulder stand and you put your weight forward, don't be afraid, don't tuck your legs. In fact, you want to spread your legs as wide as possible. And if you start to tip this way, for example, so these are my legs, you can fold this one in like this and get your weight back over, and then you can extend it, find it. You know, you can play with your legs, but make sure when you go up at first, you have your legs really, really wide, because that'll give you a really strong center and keep you from falling off this line left and right. With all that stuff being said, we're gonna commit to the line, we're gonna throw our weight onto our upper back, we're gonna hold the line like this, we're gonna spread our legs, and then we're gonna use our arm strength to either push or pull us to keep us balanced in this axis. So once you put all of that together, this is what it should look like. So a couple of extra tips to remember, and these will be a lot easier for you if you can already do things like a handstand. Remember to engage your core throughout the whole process, and remember to push and pull with your arms as needed. You don't need to do this all the time. In fact, if your balance is perfect, you can even let go with one hand and add some style to the trick. Heck, I've seen people let go with both hands and add a lot of style to this trick. Remember, your legs, the fundamental purpose of your legs is to keep you balanced from left to right. And the fundamental purpose of your core and your arms is to keep you balanced in the forward and backward axis. I find this trick a lot easier if I'm looking down. I don't like to look back. Give both of those a try. That one is 100% preference and up to you. And remember, as always, have fun with these tricks. Don't let them stress you out. Remember, we slackline because we love it and it's fun. Remember, the shoulder stand is a trick with a really steep learning curve, but keep in mind, once you're past the steep part, the shoulder stand opens a whole new world of tricks. You can do things like kamikazes, shoulder rolls to feet, the back flop, front shoulder rolls, back shoulder rolls. This really is a good fundamental trick to know. And on top of that, this is a real crowd pleaser. Anywhere you go, if people that have never seen highlining see you do a shoulder stand on the line, they're going to be immediately impressed, I guarantee it. Anyway, That's it for the shoulder stand. Go out, give this trick a try. Let me know down in the comments any other tricks you may want to see in the future. As always, love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.